You will agree with me that the journey on family planning has been interesting and sweet. Today we are going to be talking about intrauterine device. Do you know intrauterine device helps to prevent endometrial cancer? Now you know. Good day everyone and welcome back to Nurses Lecture Room YouTube channel. My name is Miss Mary, popularly known as the nurse with the difference, and I make learning easy and accessible for students. Today we're going to be talking about the intrauterine device. The intrauterine device types of family planning, which is popularly known as IUD. So we're going to be discussing IUD under the following heading: the general information you need to know, like we did in hormonal method. We're going to be talking about the effectiveness for pregnancy prevention, how this particular method works. We're going to be talking about the important facts about IUD. We're going to be talking about advantages. We're going to be talking about the side effects, the caution, how to use, and when to return to the facility. So if you don't know anything about IUD and you want to get a full check, the full story, the full lesson about IUD, all you have to do is to stay tuned. Please and please, for those that are new on our YouTube channel and you have not subscribed, what have you been waiting for? Please click on the subscribe button, turn on the notification button so you don't miss out. Let's go there. Alright, welcome back. Like I earlier said, today we're going to be talking about intrauterine device. The core part, to be specific, intrauterine device, and we actually discussed it when we are talking about the family planning. But today's video is going to be talking about it in depth, the advantages, and all you need to know about the IUCD. So the first heading we have on the board is the general information. What is the general information about IUD? IUD is a small, flexible, plastic copper device placed into the cervix, placed into the vagina, to prevent what? To prevent pregnancy. This device, they normally have two strings. These two strings that hangs from the cervix into the vagina. They have what? Two strings that hangs from the cervix into the vagina. You can see it on the screen showing on the board. That is what the IUD. You can see how small that device is. It's going into the uterus to what? To prevent pregnancy. This kind of method, it's also very effective. It's also very effective for people who are HIV positive. Women who are HIV positive can take it, and without issues they will not get pregnant. And the good thing about this type of contraceptive is that it can give you long-lasting family planning method which lasts for 12 years. You can agree with me that it is trying more than the hormonal, which lasts for 2 years. You get, so this can last you for 12 years after insertion. Remember, it's a small plastic flexible device placed into the cervix and hangs into the vagina to prevent what? To prevent pregnancy. It is very, very effective. Women who are HIV positive can actually use this method of contraceptive. Then that takes us to the effectiveness for pregnancy prevention. For the first year, it was 1%. Like those that are going to get pregnancy, just 1%. For those that are using this method, it's just 1% that are likely going to get pregnant. But in that's 2 years of study, 2 years of research, they found out that 2% actually go down with pregnancy after using this method. But this method of contraceptive is very, very effective. You can see 1% and 2% of women who are likely going to go pregnant after using this type of contraceptive. Then that takes us to how the method works. It's really very simple. It's been provided by a trained provider. I can't go and start giving an IUD if I'm not trained to do it. So IUD is provided by a trained provider. This IUD, the device, is inserted into the cervix and hangs into the vagina to prevent what? To prevent the sperm from entering. For the copper, they tend to release copper. For the copper IUD, they release copper that helps to thicken the mucus around the cervix to prevent penetration of the sperm to go and fertilize the egg. That is one thing you should note about the IUD. Then that takes us to the important fact about IUD. The first one I have here is it is one of the most effective and long-lasting method. You will agree with me that this method is long-lasting. It lasts for 12 years. Wow! So it is effective and long-lasting method of family planning. Then the other important fact I have here is that it is inserted and removed by a trained provider. Like I earlier said, I can't just go and start giving IUD if I am not trained to do it. I have to be trained to carry it out before I go about giving what? IUD. Then the other one is follow the provider's instruction on checking for the string. You know, anything you are doing, if you buy a machine, if you buy a TV, if you buy a fridge, you have to follow what? Follow the instruction. Same way you are expected to follow what? The provider's instruction when checking for the string of a particular IUD. Then the other is it does not interfere with sexual intercourse. Most people feel that, oh, it's a string, it's going into the cervix, it's going into the vagina, it's going into the uterus, there's going to be a problem with sexual intercourse, the person is never going to enjoy sex anymore. That is not true. The IUD method of family planning does not affect your sexual life, does not affect sexual intercourse. So take note of that. Then another one is there is immediate return of fertility after IUD is removed. I can put it today, I'm like, oh, I'm no longer interested, I want to remove it. So immediately you remove it, you immediately bounce back to your fertile phase. You can give birth, your eggs can come out, fertilization can take place. So you can see it's a nice form of contraceptive, because you can say, oh, let me wait for after a year before I will not get pregnant. No. You can fix it and you can easily remove it whenever you want to get pregnant as a woman. Then it does not protect against STI. You get, it's not condoms. The condom is the one that actually protects against sexually transmitted disease. IUD don't protect against what? They don't protect against STI. Then that takes us to the advantages of this particular method of contraceptive. The first advantages is the fact that it is reversible. Remember, like I said, when we're talking about the importance, you can easily remove it and go back to your fertile stage. So it is what? It is reversible. It is not like vasectomy. It is not like bilateral tubal ligation. It is what? It's a reversible method of family planning. Then the other one, it is private. It is done in your private part. It is private, so it's not something you have to carry about for people to know. Oh, anytime I want to have sex, I will have to insert it. As private, just you, your healthcare provider, and yourself alone, and your spouse. Independent of intercourse, that means it is not dependent of intercourse. So it's independent. It is easily available. You can go to your facility, your primary health centers, they do it a lot. General hospital, they do it a lot. Then your hospitals, your doctors, your gynecologists, you can meet up, and it's easily available. It has no effect on lactation. For women that are breastfeeding, they can easily take it. It has no effect on lactation. It has no effect on your breast milk. So take note of that. Help protect from endometrial cancer. Yes, this is the type of family planning that helps prevent endometrial cancer. Research has proven it that this type of family planning, when inserted, helps to prevent endometrial cancer. Do you want to know why? Drop on the comment section so that I can make a video on it. Then the other one is effective for as long as 12 years. You can see it's long lasting, so that's an advantage. Then no further cost after it's been inserted. Immediately you finish inserting it, IUD, bam, inserted. There is no further cost. You don't have to pay for any other thing again. All you have to do is to just keep living and enjoying your sexual life if need be. So there is no cost or alarm. You just have to do what you want to do and enjoy yourself. Then the other thing we are going to be talking about is the side effects. The side effects associated with IUD. In terms of the side effects of IUD, these side effects, they normally come up, then after 3 months they are gone. The first we have is heavy and prolonged bleeding, monthly flow. For example, you are used to have your monthly period 3 days, it might be prolonged to 5 days. You understand? There's going to be a prolonged menstrual flow. There's going to be heavy menstrual flow after the insertion of IUD. So take note of that. It's not something you have to be worried about. Then there can be irregular bleeding. Then also menstrual cramps, pain during your normal monthly cycle. So these are the common side effects of IUD. So it's not something you should be worried about, but after 3 months it will be done and dusted. In terms of the complications, that's some complications that are likely going to arise from this, and if it arises, you have to see the doctor as soon as possible. The first one I have is uterine perforation. Another one I have is pelvic inflammatory disease. Pelvic inflammatory disease. For pelvic inflammatory disease, it's usually common when the woman has a sexually transmitted disease, might be having gonorrhea, might be having chlamydia. So the best thing is to actually assess this woman first for any infection before giving this IUD. So because if not assessed for infection, it can lead to what? Pelvic inflammatory disease. There can be what? Uterine perforation. This IUD device, IUD, can actually leave. When it leaves, it's also a complication. It's a sign that it was not given, or it was not administered by what? A trained provider. Now let's talk about how to use. That is the next heading, how to use. The first thing you have to note is that the trained provider carry out pelvic examination. They carry out what? Pelvic examination to rule out STDs, to rule out sexually transmitted disease, so they don't end up having what? Pelvic inflammatory diseases. And most times, analgesics, your pain relief, can be administered 30 minutes before the procedure to help relieve pain that are likely going to pop up during the insertion. Then this trained provider inserts the IUCD in place with the necessary supplies and equipment. The provider folds or cuts the string on the IUD, leaving about 3 centimeters hanging out of the cervix. You will feel some discomfort or cramping during the procedure. That is normal. If you feel any discomfort, if you feel some cramping pains, just know it's a normal thing. It's not something you have to be worried about. So after the procedure, get the following information from the provider. You have to get the following information. After the procedure, you have to get the following information from the provider: the type of IUD you had inserted, the date of insertion, date when IUD will need to be removed or replaced. These are very, very important information you have to take note of, so you know, oh, by this time I should come and remove it, so I will know, okay, after 13 years there's no longer I'm no longer safe. I'm likely going to get pregnant. After 12 years I'm likely going to get pregnant, so I have to come back and remove it. Now that takes us to the next heading, which is what will make you return to the facility. If you have a question or concerns about the IUD, you can return to the facility. You have any of the following, especially within the first 20 days after the insertion. Within the first 20 days after insertion, if you have the following, kindly report to the hospital. The first is increase or severe pain in the lower abdomen. If you are having pain during sex, remember this type of family planning ought not to affect your sexual activity, but if it is not affecting your sexual activity, that's causing pain during sex, you have to report to the facility. Then unusual vaginal discharge, you having fever, chills, nausea and vomiting. Fever and chills can be a sign of infection, so you have to report to the facility as soon as possible. Then the other is, you think the IUD may have slipped out of place. That means maybe you might feel it and you know how it is. You're like, oh, this thing has moved. When you notice that, oh, it has moved, the best thing is to return to the facility to prevent what? Pregnancy. When you think you are pregnant, it is advisable you return to the facility. You want to remove the IUD for any reason, or I want to get pregnant, so you want to remove the IUD, it is advisable you return to the facility. And also take note, there are some key points I want us to take note about this IUD. If you have any medical condition, please, you have to talk to a trained provider. ensure that you return to the healthcare facility to see your provider to check up to 3 to 6 weeks after the insertion of the IUD. After the insertion of the IUD, 3 to 6 weeks, come back and check. You get, you don't just sit at home, oh, I'm fine. You have to come back and check. Then also, an important point I want us to note about the IUD is that this IUD is given within 48 hours after delivery. For mothers, it is given what? It is given 48 hours after delivery. And also, I want you to take note of the fact that after that 48 hours, you can't give it till after 4 weeks postpartum. That's after delivery. That's when you can give it. The first time it is appropriate to give it is within 48 hours. After that 48 hours, you can't give IUD. You can only give IUD after 4 weeks. So take note, is that you are giving it immediately after delivery, or you are giving it 4 weeks after delivery. Hope this video helped you to understand IUD proper. Hope it helps you get the information you need about IUD. Thank you very much for staying tuned. Thank you very much for watching our video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to drop a comment. Please, please, please. It shows us that you are following. It shows us that you appreciate our content and our video. Don't forget to like I just said, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And before I go, like I always tell you, if you are a nursing student, you are not part of our Telegram platform, you have been missing a lot. All you have to do is to send a message to the WhatsApp number showing on your screen for more information. Because with our Telegram classes, you have access to the various voice notes. They are all arranged according to systems: cardiovascular, respiratory, digestive, and all you can think about. All you have to do is what? Send a message to the WhatsApp number showing on your screen. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day ahead. Bye.